Well, hello, hello, hello. This is Tina with Enriched by Tina, and I'm here 6 o'clock. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off because y'all tonight I'm just super, super excited just come on and just give you some information. And I'm just super hyped. I'm super hyped because this weekend, I just got to go on out there. This weekend is our grand opening for the Sister Circle. I know this has nothing to do with Fitness Friday, but I'm just super hyped about this weekend coming up. So those of you that are in the Triad area, just come on out, because I have to say this, because the Sister Circle was what even inspired me to even think about Enriched by Tina, to think about, doing anything of this nature. So I have to bring it in, and it's our grand open. It's been grand opening week all week long. I've been super, super hyped. Can't just been elated about what's happening. So I'm just super hyped. So tomorrow is the ribbon cutting. So if you all are in the Triad area, come on over to Salmon Drive, come and check us out. But back to the regular scheduled program, which is Enriched by Tina, is Fitness Friday. Let me slow down. Let me calm down. Let me get it together here. So I just wanted to let you all know, like last night was a special night. I tuned in. We had Elizabeth King, and she was the mindset coach, and we talked about how mindset is key to how we think and move, and how we even interact or do the things that we do. So when it comes to our mindset and how we think about what we do and what we're going to do, then we have to just really think about what it is that we're going to set ourselves to do. And today I asked the question, are you sick and tired? Are you tired of being tired? And that's like, well, who asked a double question? So if you are tired of being tired of how you look, how you feel, then this is the broadcast. This is the show for you. Because when you think about health and fitness, they go hand in hand. And a lot of times people think about, well, fitness and eating healthy. What comes to mind to me is to get moving and to get to eating the right things. So when you think about that, and we talked about mindset last night and Tuesday night, we'll be talking about different things as it relates to that mindset. We're not telling you to get out here and go to the extreme when you start thinking about eating healthy or doing starting your fitness regimen. We're not talking about just going out and jumping out and doing all these things at once, because when you find yourself doing all these things at once, like, oh, I'm going to join the gym, which is good. I'm not against joining the gym. Join a gym, but don't go in there, oh, I'm going to bench press 200. Oh, I'm going to run on the treadmill when you hadn't even started walking. So my thing is, start slow. Don't start going all the way to the extreme when you got to start at the beginning level. And that's what a lot of times when people start stuff, when they start eating healthy, it's because, you know what, I got an event coming up. Who out there, if you out there listening, put it in the chat. Have you ever decided, I'm going to lose weight just for this particular event? Whether it's your class reunion, your family reunion, or you just going out to see some different people, or you got a milestone birthday. Like I know for me, I just turned 50 last year, and I started my weight loss journey before then because I want to live a healthy life. So if you're out there, put it in the chat. Have you ever just decided you just want to lose weight? Just some of you for the naysayers, because they said you can't do it. Those are all things that push us to make a shift in how we think and how we eat, to motivate us and drive us to that end goal, which is to be healthy or to be skinny. Well, I decided I'm big boned. I know we got some big bone people out there. I'm not the only one. So when you start thinking about why you're doing what you're doing, make it be a goal for you, not for anyone else. Because when you start making changes for people, Hey, Damon. Yes. Then when you start doing that, then you lose the momentum and then eventually you fall back. But if you do it for yourself and not for someone else, and not saying it's not good to have a particular goal by a particular event, but what's the energy behind it? What's your mindset behind why you're doing what you're doing? So when you start this journey, don't do too much too soon, because doing too much too soon, when you don't see the end result, then you get discouraged. And I say do one thing. If you know right now your weight is an issue, okay, well, let's start changing one eating habit at a time. And once you master that, add another thing you're going to eliminate. Then if you decide, or maybe you want to start moving and getting exercise for mobility, that's the one thing I'm trying to work with Mr. Daniel. He was supposed to come on with tonight and exercise, but he wasn't feeling well today. So I gave him a break. So we'll get him back on, because I want him to live the best life he can and the best quality of life while he's still able to move, because the older you get, your mobility gets different. And if you don't use it, you lose it. So I want Mr. Daniel, and for those of you who don't know, Mr. Daniel is my father. He lives with me, and I'm his full-time caregiver. And I want him to be able to move and be able to do some things on his own, so he can still continue to live here in the house with me, that I don't have to make that decision. Okay, well, Daddy, I can't no longer take care of you because you're no longer mobile. And so the older we get, we have to start doing some type of movement. So when you start thinking about, I want to get healthy, I want to start doing, don't think of it as for the next event. Start thinking of, I'm going to start moving and eating healthy as a lifestyle. I'm going to pause for the moment, because a lot of times we think of it, I'm going to take this diet, I'm on this next diet. And a lot of people call me, and yes, I've made a major transformation. And people been saying, well, what diet you on? Well, I'm really not on a diet. I'm really on a lifestyle journey. I made a decision 18 months ago when they showed up with me with those M&Ms. And I talk about those M&Ms, and I'm not talking about the candy, the colorful rainbow candies with the yellow, the green, and the orange, and the brown. I'm talking about metformin and a meter. When that showed up for me, that was a reality check for me, because I did not want to live pricking myself 3 times a day, because you technically you eat, you're supposed to eat 3 full healthy meals and some snacks. And they wanted me to check my blood sugar before I ate. So if I was eating 3 meals a day, that means I was going to check that blood sugar. So I didn't want those M&Ms. So I made a decision to change my eating habits. And then along the way, I start moving. But guess what? Once you get in a habit of doing something, then it becomes your way of life, becomes a lifestyle. So let's stop looking at, I want to do it for the next event, which is wonderful. Don't get me wrong. It's good to do it for the next event, but let's do it for a lifetime, for a journey. As long as you're left here on this earth, let's try to make a lifestyle change. That means I'm not going to eat the cookies, the cake, the pies. Or if I do, make it with the types of things that will not raise my blood sugar, like erythritol, a xylitol, a stevia. Or instead of using the regular flour, use almond flour or coconut flour, or do a combination of 3 where you can do the all-purpose flour, which is coconut oil, coconut flour, oat flour, and almond flour. Those 3 together makes your all-purpose flour. So if you have a recipe, change the flour, change the sugar, and you still can enjoy those things that you like that won't raise your blood sugar. Now, I'm not saying now that you make this cake, then you can go and eat 4 slices. Everything you got to do in moderation. So if you make a pan of cookies, get you two and be done with it. Or get you one muffin or one cupcake or one slice of cake. Just because it's healthy does not mean you need to eat the whole thing. Hey everyone, I didn't have my comments on. Hey Teresa, hey Laura, hey Lisa. Yes, I'm just telling you guys, we have to do everything in moderation because anything you do in excess is sin. Okay? So why are we going to put ourselves in that boat? Especially for those of us who's living this lifestyle of Christian. We're Christians. We're not a Christian on Sunday. It's a lifestyle. So just like you're doing your daily walk where you get up and you have prayer, you do your meditation and you do your word and you do all that on a daily basis. And we're like we said, we're all doing certain things in a moderation. Yes, our families and our list of weight. Yeah, check your family history because guess what? My mom was a diabetic. Her mom was a diabetic. And I'm pretty sure my great grandmother could have been a diabetic. I don't know. But guess what? I don't want my children to be a diabetic. So I'm trying to do what? Show some good eating habits. Now, yes, it took me to be 48 before I started. But guess what? I started. So for my listening audience out there, whether you're 20, whether you're 15, you can even start at 8, 9, or if you're 75, start somewhere. Because if you start making changes now, the easier it will be as you get older. Because when you get older, because y'all know Mr. Daniel is stuck in his ways. But he realized when he did not move as much as he was moving when he was in physical therapy, he realized that now he's aching. He had cramps. He had major cramps today. But guess what? If he start moving a little bit, his back start feeling better. He start feeling better. He start getting up, moving around. And as I like to say, get the juice in the joints. And the older, you're right, Laura, the older we get, it's hard to change those habits. So we have to begin now while we have our right mind, while we're physically able. Don't think, oh, I'm going to start tomorrow. What if tomorrow never comes? I lost a friend last year, 49 years old. She had diabetes, but got COVID. So she had a pre-existing condition, got COVID, and she didn't make it. So we do know that the world is opening back up with more and more people getting vaccinated, but that deadly virus is still here. And if you have any kind of pre-existing conditions, you really are more at risk of developing complications if the virus was to get a hold of you. So listen, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose. I don't treat. I just know what I know. And what I know is you have to start somewhere and make little changes at a time. So I don't want to keep you long tonight, because I do have the gift of gab and I love to talk. So listen, if you decide to begin something, just start with one simple change. Because when you start doing something, I don't know about y'all, when I started moving and changing my eating habits, I felt better. For my job, I have to walk around and do inspections. And those 285 pounds on me, I could hardly make it from one classroom to another classroom without stopping, huffing and puffing. And don't think about trying to go outside and monitor the playground. I did it, but I had to take breaks because I had let myself get out of control with eating and got it out of control to the point I was on my way on a downward spiral, on my way, not in a good place. So, and when you feel better, you do better. You'll do more things. I started being a little bit more focused at work. My mental state got a little bit better because many of you know I was going through the grief process of my mom dying, becoming a full-time caregiver. So the life had just got the best of me. But when you start making some changes and start seeing those changes, you will begin to feel better. You'll do better. And then when you start to slip up, you'll remember, I can't do this. And I'm telling you, there are times I do eat cookie cakes and pies. That's not on my approved things to have. But when I do, I feel terrible. All on the inside. And there are times I literally get sick. I mean, and not in such a good way. So when I begin to put the wrong things in my body after my body for 18 months have been going through stuff, going through eating the good things, now I know, okay, it's not worth it. So remember, just to make some major changes, not to try to make major changes, do a little bit at a time. So what I want to leave with you today, so when you start to do something, just make up your mind to do it. Just start. Number 2, be consistent. Because when you start being consistent, it didn't take you overnight to do it. So guess what? It's not going to take you overnight to come out. So don't get overwhelmed on the scale. Celebrate the non-scale victories. When you start seeing the changes, because you'll start loosening up. You may lose inches first. Your clothes may fit better. You may feel better physically, mentally. Go with those things. Keep pushing. Don't stop. So just think about, is it worth your overall health and your overall being to stay stuck in the things that you're doing? Is it really worth it? Think about it. Because your overall quality of life will improve. I'm telling you, I feel like, although I'm 50, I feel like I'm really like I felt when I was in my late 20s, early 30s. That's how my body feels. And y'all, I can do things that I had not been able to do in 20-some years. I feel great. And it's not about losing the weight all the time either. It's about how you feel and what you look like. You may not supposed to be a size 10 anymore. When I wore a size 10, I probably was about 19 years old. And when I look at some of those pictures, I don't know if I want to be back to 150 something. I don't know what that would look like on my body frame as I've matured and as I've gotten older. And you know, when you develop 19, you're still developing. So don't get hung on the number. Yes, you want to drop the pounds, but don't get hung up on, don't get stuck there. Because a lot of us get stuck, but get stuck on how you feel and how you look when you come out. Because really, if you don't like the way you look at 170, 200, 300, you're not gonna like yourself at 155. I've had people that still think they're 200 and something pounds because they're still not satisfied. So if you're out there and you're listening to me, love where you are right now. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And start embracing where you are and start having those positive self-talks with yourself. Because when you love yourself where you are, when you get where you're trying to get, it won't be no stopping you. Won't nobody be able to stop you in your thinking. So remember, we learned last night, everything that happens with us starts in our mind. So let's get this thinking under control, because we thinking a whole lot of stuff about ourselves. It's all in our head. We having all these conversations in our head, all these negative self-talks, or maybe someone told you in your childhood you were never going to be anything, or you're ugly, you're not beautiful. Well, honey, let me tell you something. I may have been 285 pounds, but I love myself at 285, and I'm getting closer and closer, as they say, to the wonder years. Y'all, I learned something new. If you get under 200 pounds, that's called the wonder years. Well, I'm getting real close to the wonder years, but guess what? I felt good at 285 about myself, even though I didn't even realize how big I had gotten. If I had not taken that picture of myself in the mirror, I'm not in the mirror, but on my phone, I took the picture. I did not realize that I was looking the way that I was looking. And everybody that saw the picture said, man, I didn't think you looked that big. I didn't either. But I felt good about myself, even though when I look back at those pictures and I look at some of the pictures in the years past leading up to me making a lifestyle change, I was sitting there like, oh my God, is that me? Why nobody told me? Because when people see you every day, they don't really see you like that. But for people who hadn't seen me in years, I'm just at the pause. Because then they see me now, then they're like, oh my God. I done lost a whole third grader. Because a third grader weigh about, almost 80-something pounds. Or two of my grandbabies, she weighed 40 pounds. So 2 4-year-olds. Yeah, I'm pausing because I couldn't believe it either. But life has a way of getting you off focus. So let's not really focus on the pounds. Let's focus on what we can do. Now, yes, losing the weight is wonderful. I'm not gonna lie to you. You feel great and you look great. I ain't gonna lie about it. But don't get hung up on the scale. Do the little bitty changes that you can. And like I said, love yourself where you are. And when people come with you with that negative stuff, or what you gonna do with this, then you flip it around. And I want you to do an assignment. I want you to start writing down what you don't like about yourself. Just write it down. Nobody has to see it but you. And when you write down, I hope you don't have a whole list. But if you do, let's start working on it. Then let's start digging with those things. Everything you don't like about yourself, I want you to start flipping it. And like we learned a few days ago, put I am in front of it. And I'm more than. And you start changing your language and your the way you view yourself. And they call this, because I talk to a lot of people, that you're the law of attraction or manifesting. We call it speaking things into existence here in the Christian world. However you want to look at it. Start speaking positive things and start manifesting. Start speaking those things that are not as though they were. And one lady said she just started telling herself she was skinny. She didn't realize she started doing some positive affirmations every morning. She started speaking those things. If you got dreams and goals, start speaking them. Start writing them down. Like she said, put them on a Post-it note this morning from the other morning. Start writing those things down because we're laying aside every weight. We are dropping those things. We're going to be willing and obedient. We're going to start doing the things that God has called us to do. But we got to start speaking positive things into our life because life and death is in the power of the tongue. I didn't mean to go here tonight, y'all, but I'm out here. Start speaking things positive in your life because there's life and death. And those of you who have a calling on your life, which I fought and I ran away and I quit from the call. I talked about it. Yes, I decided I was going to quit on God because I just was tired. I had so much stuff had come up against me. I decided I wasn't going to preach anymore. I wasn't going to do what God called me to do. But God said no. And when I was out of the ark of safety for 5 years, 5 is a number of grace. All those things that I was saying and speaking, I start manifesting it, y'all, and it wasn't the good stuff. It wasn't, some stuff wasn't positive. I just have to be real. I'm telling you, you have to take control of these negative thoughts. And you know it's Mental Health Month. So if you have to seek out and get some counseling, go ahead. Remember, I told you I went to two. I had 2 grief counselors because that's just how far life had overtaken me. And if I have to go back and get some more counseling, guess what? I will. We have to take care of our mental state. We got a whole lot of stuff pulling at us, and we got to begin to dig in God's word to see what God's word is saying to us daily, not just when we're in trouble, but daily. And as we start doing those things, we will start having a mindset shift that when we decide to do those things and speak those things in existence, it won't be so hard. You can make a simple lifestyle change for the good. That means if you know that cake and cookie and pies and pasta and all that stuff is getting you hung up, then you got to make preparations. That means food prep. That means when you're going places and you're going around people, eat before you go. So that way, when you get to the place, you're not really hungry. So then you've made a plan. So start doing some little things, little bit by little bit. And I'm telling you, when you start chipping away, the weight is going to fall. When you have a mindset shift and you start doing a little bit by little bit. Hey, Manita. Yes, it's very necessary, because I'm telling you, if you don't, this world will overtake you. And we know we're in the last days, y'all, because we don't know seasons. Children are doing all kinds of stuff. The world is doing all kinds of stuff. The one thing that has never failed us is the word of God. So get in it, eat it. When you start eating those scriptures that you're more than a conqueror, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. He that has begun a good work shall perform it. You start talking those things, speaking those things when you find yourself discouraged. And I promise you, you will begin to peel away all that negative talking. When you start dropping all that negative self-image of yourself, you'll start seeing the weight, not only the weight of the world, but the physical weight, because you can begin to shift your mindset. And when it comes to, you can make a decision. Do I eat this cookie or do I get an apple? Do I get this soda or am I going to drink some water? I'm just saying, you have to make small changes. Am I going to get up in the morning? Am I going to walk for 15 minutes? Am I going to get on the prayer call or the prayer nudge or go to Bible study? I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do to get our spirit man. Because see, when our spirit man is not fed and he's off or she's off, because we got men and women on here tonight who may be listening. When you get off in a lot of areas. So you got to begin to get your mind right, get your spirit man right, and get your physical part right. And when these 3 are in sync, y'all, you're unstoppable. So this has been Tina with Enriched by Tina. I went a whole nother way that I was planning on going. I had a whole script, but when the Holy Ghost come in, you just have to let him do what he do. So remember that when you make these changes, just do a little bit at a time. Be consistent. And I'm telling you, do a little bit at a time, because if you do too much too fast, you're going to quit. And God don't have any quitters. So just remember just to do what you can and do a little bit by little bit. Now, remember, guys, I do a live on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. And I'm going to have a guest again, Deborah Betts. She is she's an author of Wake the Health Up. She has a book. It talks about different weight things or how to change yourself. So she's going to come on and tell you how her health journey started and give you some tidbits. So tune in to me with Enriched by Tina on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Also, guys, God is expanding me. And he's doing it, right before my eyes. So I will be speaking at a virtual conference. It's Sharp Sexy Sisters. It's a network and empowerment. It's virtual. It's a virtual event. It's June 13th at 2 p.m. The cost is $29. I'm one of the speakers. It's about 6 or 7 speakers, if I'm not mistaken. I am one of them that will be speaking during this virtual event. If you don't have anything to do, feel free to come on out and hear how to live a healthy lifestyle as I go through and impact some things about living healthy. Come out and support me. Like I said, the registration is $29. So just feel free to join in on that. I would greatly feel it would be nice to see some familiar faces on the Zoom. So just feel free to do that. And remember, y'all, I'm trying to do something on YouTube. I need 100 subscribers. I think I got about 15. So going on over to YouTube and like that channel, and you have to watch at least 3 minutes of episodes. So if you have not been in tuning with Enriched by Tina, I have several shows that's there, several episodes. I guess this is a show. Somebody asked me, are you going to podcast? We'll see. I don't know what the Lord is doing with this with Enriched by Tina. I just want to help people. I'm here to help. So feel free to reach out to me if you need some help and some guidance. And like I said, going on over and like Enriched by Tina on YouTube. Watch about 3 minutes of it. So then it'll hold the subscribers, because a lot of people had subscribed, but then they didn't keep. So I found out that you have to watch at least 30 minutes of something. And then it will let you hold. So I want to do some different things there, but I can't change what I want to do until you get 100 subscribers. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you again Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And thanks again for tuning in with Enriched by Tina. Remember to like, share this with someone. They may need to hear this. And we're just trying to reach as many people as we can. And thank you so much. And remember to make good choices. Bye for now.